and scan your doodads, they let you pay in it.
I try not to scan my doodads publicly.
And now, Cheese Wits.
Hello.
Hello. I
This
saw
down.
that you were in here in the Zoom
I
room
was.
earlier, and then it went away.
I was, because I am not getting any audio showing up on what you call it. You know what you call it on Adobe.
Oh,
Yeah.
why not?
It's on-
Have we fixed
Yeah.
it?
I don't know. I'm opening it back up again now to see if I'm getting audio now.
Okay.
Check one. No. Not sure what the deal is. Don't know.
Can't troubleshoot it for you from here myself.
No, and I can't troubleshoot it right now either. I'll work on it later. We're just gonna have to hope and pray that it's working just fine.
Thoughts and prayers, Wally. Thoughts and prayers.
That's such a, I don't know. I think that's such a Southern thing.
By the
No,
way,
you know what it is? I think it's an asshole thing. Thoughts and when people don't want to deal with the truth of anything.
no, I think
thoughts and
most people
prayers.
who say it actually mean it like it's going to do something.
Well,
Be a minute.
what the?
What are you?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'll be a minute.
What are you doing?
Chiropracting. I'll be a minute. I'll call you back.
Oh. That's a hell of a sight.
He's chiropracting.
Yeah. He's probably doing one of those massage happy ending videos. He's posting it on his OnlyFans.
Did he not know? It kills me that while we are making, for the most part, an effort to be in one place and be on camera,
Yes.
he spends the time recording our podcast, doing his grocery shopping, getting fast food, driving to other places, and
Taking a shit. Whatever.
taking a shit. And now a new one. He is chiropracting.
He lets nothing interfere with his personal life.
I'm serious.
If he's got a chiropractor, he's got to go see the chiropractor. What I really I want to hear the chiropractor just really fucking dig into him. Going, all right, this might hurt a little.
Oh. I used to go to the chiropractor, and I can't bring myself to do it anymore because I've heard too many horror stories.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to go to a chiropractor. I don't know. Well, I think the reason I don't believe that they are real doctors in my head. I know that they are. I know they're trained professionals.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, anything you can take a course on over the internet, and get a certificate, I'm not sure that makes you medically,
I don't. That's not how they get
fine.
That's not how they get their degree, is it? I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I don't know how they get their degree. I've always assumed they actually go to school for it, but also when they take a hold of your head and just twist it, it just seems like it would be so easy for something to go wrong. And there's a guy here in Nashville that I just saw on TikTok a couple of weeks ago who told this whole story about how he was out of commission for like a year and a half because one little thing went wrong from the chiropractor, except that he can't prove that the chiropractor did something wrong, and therefore he can't even sue the guy.
No, but when you're seeing like the same move in like the Bourne Identity with a guy getting his neck broke, it's the same move your chiropractor does. There's a question for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I mean, to fix my computer, I know the guy might have went to ITT Tech. I'm sort of
that's not life and death.
Thinking that the chiropractor guy might have went to like femur, humerus, and big toe tech. I'm not sure. I went to vertebrae tech. Haven't you ever heard of it? I'm not sure that that's going to help me out at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It makes me so nervous.
When I was going to for PT, PT, by the way, physical therapy, folks. For our one person, for our Danish person who may not know that,
Our Danish person? You mean our Dutch person in the Netherlands?
Oh, is it Dutch? Oh, it's Dutch. I'm sorry. It's Deutschland.
No, that's Germany, for fuck's sake. You're explaining PT and you don't know the difference between Dutch and Deutschland?
What is Dutch? What do you call a person?
The Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands. Okay. The Netherlands is Dutch. Yeah.
But yeah, let's explain what PT means.
Yeah, so PT. So it's funny because we have a Danish daughter, so it just comes to my mind automatically.
Yeah.
We had the exchange student Sarah, who we still have a great relationship with, who's over in Denmark, and is saying that they're not looking forward to Greenland being any part of the United States.
Really, that's a surprising.
I know it is.
Surprising state of affairs.
But when I was going to physical therapy, they said, "Well, you might want to. I mean, you could go to a chiropractor maybe for loosening up your bone. I broke a couple vertebrae here. I'm not looking to have anybody sit on my ass and push hard on my back. I'm not looking for that.
No, thank you,
Chris. By the way, that vision of Chris, he did not look comfortable." He looked like his neck was twisted in some sort of weird, someone had like the hand on his forehead, pulling his head back. He just did not look like he was in a comfortable position.
No, and we were getting the view. He's face down on the chiropractic table, and he's got the phone out in front of him. So we're getting the view from underneath, which nobody should ever have to see.
No, you know what? You're right there. I am eager to find out if they've started their move or if they've closed.
Yeah.
And I'm also, the burning question for me is, are they going to make little Chris's and little Jenna's? Has this been holding them back from making little people? Or do they have no interest in making little people? I'm interested in this. I'm interested in knowing.
I just feel like that's a none of your business unless he brings it up kind of question.
Oh, I'm going to ask him anyway. I'm going to say, hey, and the reason I wonder why is because, so my daughter has this discussion with her man.
While they're in line waiting for the outhouse?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she says she is very confident that she would not have children with him because of the living situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if I don't care if they have kids. Does the living situation change an attitude about, whether or not you may or may not want children now that you've got this big, expansive home and there's plenty of space and you're not going to be under the roof of a parent, listening and judging your raising of children sort of thing. I wonder if that changes people's thinking when they get the independence.
Problem with that whole line of questioning is that what if the reason that they haven't had kids yet is because one or both of them is not able to, and that's a painful subject.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be. You could be right,
mm-hmm.
but that could, so then we go to adoption.
Seriously, you're going to start bringing up options for them as if they may not have thought of those things?
Do you think Chris would not ask me that question?
I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying I would not.
How's your sister doing? Wouldn't she like to be able to walk?
I'm just saying I would.
Remember that guy? Remember the guy who asked me, hey, wouldn't your sister like to walk? Yeah, she probably would.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd,
But see, that's because it was a subject you brought up first. Chris did not say, by the way, Wally, do you have any family members in wheelchairs that we can make fun of? He did not do that. You said, I have this sister, and here are all of the ways that I laugh at her. And then Chris said,
oh, let me laugh at her too.
Let me laugh at her too. Now, if Chris were to bring up the subject, yeah, we wanted kids, or we don't ever want kids, then it's an open field of discussion.
I'm going to say that if we wait for Chris to bring up a subject,
mm-hmm.
we won't say anything for the next 6 months.
He sure brought up banks last week, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think we were there, right?
Yeah.
I think we were.
He was
I think we were already there.
mad.
By the way, my wife's.
Oh, look
Hey,
who's
Chris.
here now.
Sorry about that. They were running late in there.
Okay.
We were talking. I was saying, you looked particularly in an uncomfortable position.
Well, I was laying down. I was face down, and I had those stem electrodes all over my back.
Oh.
Oh, is that? I thought I saw something on your back. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Did they put the
Yeah.
heat thing on top of it?
The heat on top of the electrodes, and then there was ice on top of the heat. It all never makes sense.
Yeah.
But listen, I went, I did my thing, and now I'm here with you lovely people for another lovely episode of this program that Scott Schlein listens to.
Thank God you're here.
Are you able to do a back bend now? How are you feeling? Could you join the
not
Olympic
yet.
team?
I could.
So last week, you guys remember I was telling you I was flying solo. My Jody was away in lovely hot Atlanta.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. So her flight back was so wonderful. Her flight back which was supposed to go into Charlotte. Direct flight down, but on the way back there was a layover in Charlotte. I think it was just a plane change.
There's never just a layover in Charlotte. Charlotte's never just a
you are
layover.
correct.
No. Yeah. No.
Well, the plane didn't get to Charlotte. The plane got to DC.
Oh, good. Should come by.
And then in DC, the flight was canceled. And it got canceled around midnight.
Good.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So Jody slept in the airport. I didn't even ask her if she was at Dulles or which airport she was at. What is it? Ronald Reagan and Dulles? Are those the airports?
Yeah.
Or BWI, which is Baltimore, but they were all Washington. But yeah.
So she had ended up sleeping. She sent me a text at like midnight 30 to say, I'm in Washington, D.C., and there's no flights out. They canceled them.
Is that your wife or your sister?
I was going to say, I don't remember Jody sounding like your sister.
And you know what? Well, she was sad. She was sad.
Okay.
So she ended up saying, that doesn't get any better. Gets a flight out at 6 to Logan. From Logan, and her car, she flew out of Portland. From Logan, it's the bus. Get on the bus to Portland. My poor woman, who was supposed to be home by 10 p.m. in the house, 10 p.m. the day before, strolls into the house around 3 p.m. the next day.
Jesus Christ.
Is this
and why
because-
was it a bus?
Is
Why
this
was it a
because
bus?
of some Elon Musk fuckery?
I don't know why. I have no idea, but my guess would be that they just didn't have flights to put extra people on because they weren't anticipating whatever.
But why would they overshoot Charlotte?
Portland.
Jesse,
Don't know.
there's nothing to see here. Everything's
Don't know.
fine. Everything's fine with Elon. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
There's no issue whatsoever. Everything's okay. There's nothing to see.
Mm-hmm.
How about Johnny President saying it is illegal to boycott Elon Musk companies?
Oh, it is absolutely. Look, there's nothing to see here. Everything's fine.
He's going to need more jails to fit us all into.
Well, speaking of jails, the news today is all of those places that they're housing arrested illegal immigrants are at capacity.
Of course they are.
Now, here's the other thing, though. They've arrested a lot of folk, mainly at the border. They've deported fewer in February than Biden did last year at the same time. So the great exporter of people is not exporting people very well.
No. And when he does, he's sending them to the wrong countries. So
there's nothing to see. Everything is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything is fine.
It seemed.
By the way, have we all said goodbye to my retirement fund at this point? Because
Can I tell you a little secret? I actually cashed out my 401k about 2 weeks ago because I said, you know what? Something weird's about to happen, and I think I'm going to lose more in the market than I am in the penalty. So I cashed everything out.
I have not looked at ours. Jody hasn't looked at hers.
I haven't looked at mine either because I don't want to be sad, and there's already enough fuckery afoot that I can't. And also I do understand that it's a long game and that maybe I should look in a couple of weeks and like see what I can buy up cheap.
You should
now.
But you have to understand, Jess, everything's fine.
You know what?
There's
you know
nothing
what you
to look at.
buy? If you're going to buy something, not soybeans, but the bean that they make fake eggs out of.
That's what you ought to buy. Buy some beaners. That's what you got to get. Got to go get some. Look, I love the Mexicans.
You guys,
I love them.
The beans that they make fake eggs out of. I forget what exact bean that is.
Fake eggs out of beans?
Yes. It's like what the the vegans eat.
There is a brand of eggs I see at the grocery store, a brand of fake eggs that says just eggs on the carton. And then it says a 100% plant product.
There you go.
And I'm like, so it's not just eggs then?
No, it's just eggs. Read the fucking thing.
But it's a plant product.
I forget.
Chris,
I wish I could remember what the bean is.
Look at Wally doing two things at once.
Mung beans.
I can't do that. I can't do that because that will not compute with me, Jess.
No.
So it's mung beans, you guys.
Mung? Isn't that the shit that you get in your taint?
Mung, M-U-N-G, mung.
Yeah, that's what you get in your taint.
So
when you have a little poop laying there. That's mung.
Mung beans. Because people are using that egg substitute, and mung beans are a good investment. Mung bean futures, I would say. No, I think I've recounted this or told you this before. So the last time there was a huge downturn during the housing crisis and when 401ks went to shit, I think I told you we lost about $800,000, $900,000. The 401k just disappeared because all of that stock was in Citibank stock, which ended up becoming worth zero. So I'm afraid to look at what we've got going on because we started rebuilding again.
Yeah.
15 years ago, whatever it was. I'm afraid to look at it. I really am. I think Chris made a very smart and shrewd move.
No, I'm serious. And look, it was only 15,000 that was in there because I've had to restart this several times. Yeah. And I've got one with my current company, and this is the one with WTOP that they stopped contributing to, and so did I. It's just been sitting there, and I've been waiting to move it to something else. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get the cash. I'm going to take the 20% hit. So it was 15,000, went down to 12,000 at money that I got. And look at that. That's about where it would be anyhow.
Yeah.
Right.
I just figured my stuff is in diversified enough that it'll come back. I don't like, I'm not.
It will.
I'm not going to look at it right now because it'll just upset me. But what I think I am going to do, thankfully, I got a bunch of money when my grandmother died. And I had put it all in a high yield savings account because I wanted to make sure I had paid enough in taxes before I invested it anywhere.
Yeah.
And my plan all along had been to go to a financial advisor to help me invest it properly so that in 15 years or so, when I can retire, there's enough for me to live on. So this may be a really great time to do that because they're going to know what's going to bounce back, and I'll be able to get more out of that money. But it's good that I didn't do it before now because my money would be gone.
Or you can get a SEP account, a self-employment account. The one we have money in, I think it draws somewhere between 4 and 6% annually. Every year it grabs 4 to 6%. So it's a guaranteed draw. They don't guarantee it, but it has never drawn less than 4%.
Well, and it's probably more important than ever now because they've been saying Social Security wasn't going to be around by the time I retire, and it's sure the fuck not going to be now.
No, so what we got to do is invest in some more of that Trump crypto coin.
Yeah.
So we can lose another $12 billion.
I'm buying the Hawk Tua coin.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't they run out of that coin?
I'm pretty sure she ran out on that coin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she ran out on that coin too. I don't even understand cryptocurrency. I have I don't know what the hell it is. I don't get it. I don't understand
what
it.
I want you to think about, Wally, is it's as simple as, okay, it's playing Monopoly, okay?
Yeah.
And you're buying Monopoly money, okay? Mm-hmm. You're buying Monopoly money. Difference is you get no turns at the board, and somebody is going to flip that fucking table at some point.
Yeah,
okay.
See, I sort of thought it was like shitting in your hand. You're just going to be sitting there with a handful of shit with nothing to be able to use except throwing it at them at a monkey.
Hey, what do they say? Shit in one hand, wish in the other.
Yes, they do.
See which one fills up first.
I don't understand even the concept of cryptocurrency.
No, I don't either.
It makes no sense. Have you ever gone to? Do you go to the Kroger and say, "Hey, I'd like to pay in crypto"?
Well, actually, there's some of these stores that I don't know whether you've seen the crypto ATMs up front. That are right next to the regular ATM that you can go buy Bitcoin and shit. And there's one of these retailers takes Bitcoin. If you've got a Bitcoin wallet and can scan your doodads, they let you pay in it.
I try not to scan my doodads publicly.
Leave your doodads covered.
Jess, nobody wants to see your doodads today.
That's exactly my point.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna bet you. There's somebody who would say, "I'd like to see those doodads."
So, Jess ain't taking a trip to the Kroger lately.
Because I'm trying to keep my doodads undercover.
I understand.
For everything you think there's not, there is.
There is.
It just is. I was listening to something today about OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And somebody was talking about how they have an OnlyFans for ugly feet.
Yes, that's true. I have not seen that, but I've heard that.
Wait a minute.
Can make some coin there.
There's an income stream I could get in on.
I have
ugly feet.
Yeah.
Do you have ugly feet?
I do
too. I have very short toes.
I don't actually know what makes feet ugly or not ugly.
Well, let me assure you, my wife's fucking bunions. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what makes ugly feet? If they're attached to your ankles. Those are ugly feet.
Feet are not good looking things. I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good looking. I mean, they serve a purpose. I mean, they're supposed to get calloused the fuck up. They serve a purpose.
As tacky as it is, I think, for men to walk around in sandals with white socks, I'm glad that they wear socks. I don't want to see hairy knuckled toes walking.
Oh my God, I'm at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Go figure. And somebody just pulled in a Tesla, and it's got a sticker on the back that says, "I bought this before Elon went crazy."
Because they don't want to get their shit broken into.
I have seen one of those vehicles around here. The truck. That's it.
Oh, Nashville's full of Teslas of all kinds.
Really?
Yeah. Especially when I go to my sleep doctor, they're over on the rich side of town, and
rich side of town.
There's Cybertrucks all over that shit.
On the good side of the track.
Yep.
Yeah, and nobody wants to see that Cybertruck shit. They're the ugliest fucking things ever.
The ugliest.
It is ugly, but it reminds you. It also just reminds you of that asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why you got to have a sticker like that, because otherwise people are going to spray paint Nazi shit on the side of your car.
They're going to break through your unbreakable glass and drag you out into the street.
Yep.
And that's that shit. Speaking of broken glass, I got a new windshield in my car, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I have a fucking crack that goes right now from the bottom of my windshield to the top. It grew 1.5 inches overnight. It is about 6 inches from going stem to stern.
Fuck.
There's no, I didn't get hit with anything. There's no place where you see a rock hit it or something might have hit it.
It grew 1.5 inches overnight. Nobody's chimed in with like your dick. Nobody's chimed in with that yet.
I was waiting for you, Chris. If my dick
grew 1.5 inches overnight, I would throw a party.
I would throw a party and invite prostitutes, man.
I would invite people. I would call Geppetto and say, "Look what you've done for me, friend."
Oh my God. And you know what? It's funny during that the speech last week. That's why I kept. I'm like, God, this is Geppetto. Look at this fucker. He's just lying up there. Fucking Pinocchio is lying.
I did not bother to watch. There's no way I could sit and watch that fucker talk.
I watched.
Do you ever think that Pinocchio would sit there with Geppetto? Do you ever think, and like Geppetto would bend over in front of Pinocchio and go, lie to me.
Lie
to me.
I can't you guys, I can't understand how anybody can even back this guy up anymore when he says anything. Though I do notice less and less on Facebook people defending him.
Well, how can you?
Brilliant.
You can't defend crazy.
You can't.
You know, you cannot defend insanity. And look,
here's the other thing.
This is coming from a fucking right winger right here. You can't defend this fucker.
Yep.
He's like a bad parent. And I say that he's like a bad parent because the bad parents, I've said this before, bad parents tell their kids, no, you're going to get your ass. This is going to happen. You're not having that toy. That's like him with the tariffs. You're getting tariffs, you fuckers. I'm putting tariffs on you. And then a half hour later, okay, I'm not going to do the tariffs. What? Fucking dude.
Hey, but it got you to listen. It got him to listen.
Right. Yeah, he got him. You're right. They got him to listen. They jacked it up. I love when the guy from Ontario said, yeah, I think we're going to turn off the electricity in New York and New York State. And here's the dumbness of people, right? Just of Americans in general. When they say we're going to turn off the electricity in New York, they automatically go, oh my God, New York, it's so big, New York City. Oh, that's all they think of. It's upstate New York.
Yeah, they're turning off the electricity in Buffalo and Syracuse.
Yeah, this is a couple of houses in
Wally, this is literally the story of my life, having been born and raised in New York, not the city.
Right.
My entire life, no matter where I've lived outside of the state of New York, I've had to say, when I say I'm from New York, people go, oh, you don't sound like you're from New York. Because they think I'm going to talk like I'm from Brooklyn or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm from Long Island.
You want me to talk like I'm from there? Come here, you motherfucker. I'll show you in New York.
There was this girl in North Carolina when I was working down there.
North Carolina lilts are great.
She was the assistant manager of the Ruby Tuesdays that we'd go in every night. And I was violently fucking this girl before I got her phone number. And she had a 585 number. And I'm like, oh, you're from that redneck part of New York. There you go. Not from the city. Yeah.
I'm from the part of New York that talks more like Chicago. We say the word cat has 2 syllables.
Yeah.
That's the part of New York I'm from.
But people automatically think those things.
Mm-hmm. The part of New York that Stephanie was from the part where they taught fine, good fucking. Okay. That was great. I don't know whether that's your part or not, Jess, but it was good.
Fine, good fucking.
That was something else.
I don't know if that's the part I'm from either.
well, in my experience, rural girls come from the fine fucking locations.
God, I miss her.
City girls are looking at their watch going, I gotta get the number. I gotta get the L7. Hurry up.
I mean, it's like maybe I'm talking out of turn here, but have you ever had a blowjob while enjoying the salad bar from Ruby's?
I have not.
Okay, well,
I have not either.
Well, I have. Okay, and yes. That's all I need to say is yes.
Well, the more alarming part there is not the blowjob. Mm-hmm. It's the actually enjoying the Ruby salad bar.
Oh, I love the Ruby
salad bar.
Listen, when there's no other salad bars around there, that's it. I mean, that's all you had was Ruby Tuesdays.
Doesn't the Ruby salad? Doesn't it have the Ruby? It has the potato salad.
Yeah, it's got all that
macaroni
shit.
salad.
Oh yeah, it's got the
salad bar
and the germ salad.
Look,
two types of lettuce.
It was germs. 2 types of lettuce, extra germs. Mm-hmm. So I would put the lettuce and germs on first.
Yep.
And then they had 3 different kinds of cheeses to go with my bacon bits, croutons, and honey mustard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the untouched vegetable on that entire, if you like beets, that was the place to go.
Whoa.
God, I can't wait to tell Jenna that we're going to Ruby Tuesday tonight. I can't wait.
Now, did you
the
have to
blowjob
pay
time again?
Did you have to pay extra for the blowjob at that salad bar, or was it included?
No. That would have been for prostitution, Jess. Okay. But I did take her back to my place afterwards, and it was all you could eat.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, I think the chiropractor helped you out a little bit. You are very, very vocal. Hey,
very loose today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you started to move in?
I guess you haven't seen the pictures of the garage clocks on Facebook.
I saw them.
Yeah, that's where it starts. And there's another 10 of them on the wall now.
That's at the new place?
At the new place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
you hung clocks?
Yeah, in the garage, because I didn't want them on shelves upside down and glass breaking and stuff. So I had to just hang them on the wall of the garage. That led me to believe that, number one, I have a problem. And number two, it's time to start selling things. But, everything was in the middle of the garage. I got things moved to shelves on either side so I can park a car in there now. I need to go buy a bookshelf so I can empty out 6 more boxes and a second car can get in there. So,
this is the deal. We have a 3-bay garage. And for about 18 of the 22 years we've been here, we've only ever been able to use 2 of those bays.
Mm-hmm.
I cleaned out the garage and I dumped just bought a bunch of shit to the transfer station. And now Cheyenne's able to park in the garage as well. And all 3 bays are accessible.
Well, how nice.
I remember in 1976, 77, one of my first memories was sitting on my father's lap in his orange GTO. And
there's a joke.
He parked it on the right side of the garage. And, I remember the GTO he sold. Then it started accumulating stuff in the right-hand side of the garage. But we'd still park the station wagon in there. And then once we got rid of the station wagon, he would park the Ford Crown Victoria in there. And then one day, stuff just started creeping over and they started parking in the driveway. And now the garage is just fucking nuts to butts with just shit.
Chris, you do realize you are your father's son.
Well, I absolutely do. And that's why he looked at me. I've got this beautiful bowling alley clock in the back of the car. It takes up the entire back seat. It's probably about 4 feet tall by a foot wide. And it's got the clock up top. And on the bottom, it's got a woman bowling in a silhouette with a Coca-Cola advertisement on the bottom. And I'm like, I was sitting in my storage unit. I wanted to stop paying for the storage. So I said, Dad, this is it. He says, oh, man, that is beautiful. I remember one of those hung on the wall at blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, isn't it great? He says, yeah, it absolutely is. Get the fuck rid of it. And I said, yeah. And he says, look, you can get good money for it and you don't want to become what the fuck I've become. Get rid of it.
Because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, somebody might be cleaning out your stuff going, look at this shit. How many clocks does one motherfucker need?
Uh-huh.
It'll be Jenna. Jenna will be, look at all these fucking clocks. Oh, it didn't buy him any more time. He's still checked out.
I'm such a clock sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through a phase of I used to keep all the shit ever from radio. Anything I ever got from radio. T-shirts, stickers, all access passes, pictures, the picture they send of Jess, were you pointing by?
Yeah. The quilt of radio station T-shirts. Yeah.
I saved all of that shit. Every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe a handful I have a little box and I might have a couple things in it, but only because I haven't found it. I just don't have any shit left. The last thing I gave away, Jess, the last thing I got rid of went to the Goodwill. It was a Kiss concert. The Kiss concert T-shirt was finally got rid of that. We don't have any.
I have a couple of things so I keep my pens in this mug from a radio station that I worked at.
But useful.
Yeah.
It's not just in storage. It's
and I have a few I have a few things like that, and I have a few tchotchkes that came from artists, this little Brooks and Dunn jar that came, I think candy was in it when I got it years and years ago. And now it's got adapters in it. So it's like,
you use it.
I keep stuff, mostly stuff that I can use, but also there's like somewhere I have a can of chili because I can't throw it away because it's too funny. It has Chris Young's face on it. It was from when he was on Nashville Star. So it was before he was a big deal. And they sent out this promotional can of chili. And I was like, I can't throw this away. This is too awesome. And one of these days, when Chris Young is a much bigger deal than he is now, if he ever gets that far, I'm going to bring out this can of chili and I'm going to be like, look what I have. And I'm going to get him to sign it. And then I'm going to auction it off to St. Jude or something.
Humble him.
Yeah.
Somewhere I have a Louisville Slugger signed from who is it? Michael Bolton.
Really?
Yeah. Remember he used to go around the country doing benefit. Actually, he played in Syracuse. He played in Syracuse. He used to do benefit softball games.
Oh,
he
loved
that.
I don't remember that at all.
It was something how he raised money. So I might still have it somewhere, but I even got rid of almost all the gold records and shit I had. I have got a couple, 3, 4 left. One of them being Target.
Hey, when you want to sell a gold record, you let me know. I'd like one at the house.
I have one of those record. I think it's platinum for Chris Stapleton on my wall in here.
Oh, nice.
I've got a Meatloaf. I think I've got a Guns N' Roses. I've got an 80s pack, right? The 80s package. Boys to Men, like the Virgin onslaught. And I think
I have a thing that used to be in the WFRE studio.
Oh, I got one from Itchy Bomb.
So do I.
What do you have?
What the hell is that thing? Fuck what now? Keep going. I'll figure it out in a second. It was in storage the other day. Keep going.
What label is it?
What do you have? No, it wasn't a gold record.
Mine isn't a gold record either.
What did you take?
I hesitate to say this publicly because are they going to send the cops after me for stealing it?
You didn't take the stool, did you? Well, because there's that stool that was signed by everybody.
Oh, no, I didn't take that. It's
okay.
It's a framed Patsy Cline recording contract.
I never saw that in there.
That's because they never put it up on the wall. It was always like leaned up on the counter behind a whole bunch of other shit. And
they didn't care about it.
And when I left the way I left, I was like, you know what? This deserves a better home. And so now it has a place of pride here in my little studio.
I think that's awesome.
I've got a picture of Patsy Cline singing out in Winchester. That's framed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she lived in Frederick when she got this recording contract.
Yeah, so we could actually put it all together and
yeah.
How about that?
Very very
but
nice.
No, the thing that's why it's the baseball bat.
What baseball?
Remember the baseball bat that was sitting to the right of the console, the small one?
Yeah, who signed it?
I don't remember who signed it, but I saw it the other day.
Like the little billy club size baseball bats?
That's it, yeah.
The ones that you carry in the back of your car in case.
Yep, that's
one-handed.
There was my brother was a New York City police officer, and he had a mag light, and it's not what the cops referred to it as.
No, that's not what they refer to.
Yeah,
I know what they refer to.
Yeah. So, but same purpose.
I lived in the South too.
In case you had to, fend off somebody.
By the way, a radio station that I worked at before FRE does not exist anymore as of this week.
Uh-oh.
WSJR, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, well, really Dallas, Pennsylvania, is now a simulcast with Cat Country out of Allentown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of radio station, you see there is a push maybe by the Ted Cruz is one of them pushing this to sell more bandwidth.
No.
To sell more bandwidth, but to sell it to cell phone companies so that they can upgrade their systems so that Elon Musk doesn't get the FAA contracts and stuff. I don't know if it's so Elon Musk doesn't get those, but because Musk wants to transfer those some of that FAA technology. He wants his company to take it.
All of it.
Yeah, and NASA too. So Ted Cruz and some other senators want to, but don't do that.
So
just take back the shit.
So now this is MAGA versus MAGA?
What's that?
It's MAGA versus MAGA.
And that's kind of weird. But look, if they were going to take all the AM stations, I'd be okay with that. And you know what? AM can travel across the country. It's been shown. That would be perfect.
AM is so much better. I think AM is so much better than FM, and AM is better than digital. Just regular analog is way better than digital because you can hear it fucking everywhere.
But this station, I was there when we put it on, like when the switch was flipped to start this radio station.
Right, it gives you a little pang, right?
This little, and it was never like I'm surprised it took them this long. Like the station was never intended to win. It was because there was only one country station in the market and it's a monster station. And the number 2 station was our company's hot AC or AC. It was AC. And so they put us on to pull to pull just enough shares away from the other country station to let the AC station be number 1. That was our entire reason for existing.
That's what we did in Winchester.
Mm-hmm. So,
that's not a bad, that's not a bad plan if you own 2 stations.
No, and we had like good 5 or 6 stations in the building, and
that's too many.
Our station didn't have we couldn't reach the whole market most of the time, except on like a rainy day we could. But when the sun was shining, we could only reach like basically right outside the parking lot, and it was never gonna win. It was never gonna pull big numbers, but also it hurts just a little bit to see it go completely.
Yeah, it does.
Away.
When I was working in upstate New York, Malone, up near Messina,
in New York,
when I was working in upstate, if the wind blew just right, the signal stopped going south because we had these repeater dishes, and if the dish moved 2 or 3 inches, it would come off. They had to be exactly in line with each other.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And once they came out of line, you'd be like, what the fuck happened there?
Well, I mean, here's the thing that you talk about analog radio. I remember being down in North Carolina in Fayetteville, and I had a station at 106.9. That was an oldie station. And what do you listen to on the air, on the monitor in the studio? The air, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't, but at the time you could. And walked into the studio, getting ready to fill in on the morning show for this guy that I brought down from DC, named Goldie, who was just the fucking best. But I'm going in the studio, and what's on the air monitor is not matching what's coming out of the automation. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? They changed the fucking format. They're feeding it from somewhere else. What the fuck did they... A station from Charlotte, directly on the other side of the state, had overtaken the air monitor.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a panic moment.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I thought Cumulus had all of a sudden decided to put a Christian AC on the air. I'm like, what in the fuck?
I worked in stations where what you were monitoring was coming from the transmitter shack, but there was just a radio in there tuned to your signal.
Oh yeah, that's what this was, and there was an antenna connected to it.
Bumped the tuner. You were broadcasting somebody else's shit.
Uh-huh.
But that being said, fun shit. On
Absolutely.
your toes, fun, good competition, but also good camaraderie. If you worked in radio, you are friendly for the most part with the other people who work in radio, whether you are a competitor or not.
That station in Wilkes-Barre is the one where our engineers used to sneak up. God, we would piss off that Froggy station. They would get so upset by the shit that we did, even though they were the monster in the market and we were nothing. So we could do the stuff. And
was that Forever Broadcasting or something?
No. That's
it was Forever, but it turned into Seven Mountains, I think.
Yeah, Seven. But no. This was an Intercom station.
So Intercom had the brand for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not. I think the Seven Mountains or whatever it is. I don't think are they Froggy or are they something else?
They're Froggy. They own the Froggy brand now. They own the Froggy and they own Rocky.
Yeah, I thought Forever
so they would have
Froggy for a while.
All of their jocks have frog names, and
they stopped doing that finally.
Yeah,
but I mean, you remember people were on the air like down in Ocean City. There was Jimmy Hoppa.
Yep, I think there was a Jimmy Hoppa at every single Froggy station there was.
Mm-hmm.
But
how bogus
the PD over there would get so mad at the shit that we would do. Because we were the little guy. They didn't have to acknowledge us at all, but they would react to everything we did, and it just made us do more shit to them. So we would, if there was an event and we knew where they were going to be, or we were both there, when nobody was watching their van, we would go put our station license plates on their van, and they would drive around with them. They had to start posting guards outside their van because we'd put bumper stickers on that shit.
It's so good.
We had, there's a concert venue up on a mountain called Montage Mountain, and there's one road in and out, which was super fun on concert nights. And
I'm sure.
Yeah. And when we first came on the air, we had, there's like at least at the time, there was a dude who owned the mountain, some rich guy, and we would get permission from him, and we would have those like campaign signs, but with our station logo on them. And we would put them all the way up the side of the road so that while people were sitting there waiting in traffic, they're looking at us. And then there would be like a little pullout on the side of the road. And on a really hot day, we would be out there with a whole street team and T-shirts and bottles of water with our logo on them and handing those out to people in traffic. And
old school radio.
And they would there was one day the PD got caught, like one of our engineers left before the show was over, and he starts coming down the mountain and he notices our signs aren't up anymore. And he gets halfway down the road and he sees the PD pulling that shit up and putting it in his trunk.
Wow.
Yeah. There was one time I was doing my afternoon show live from up on the mountain because there was a concert. I remember this so clearly. Joe Nichols was opening for Toby Keith, and Joe Nichols was still a pretty new artist at the time. And our PD had arranged for him to come to our booth at the venue at like exactly 5:00 or whatever it was, and sign autographs for exactly 30 minutes. And so I'm on the air like, don't forget, get here in time to come over to the JR 93.7 booth from 5 to 5:30. If you're not in line, he's not going to sign for, like, you got to get here between. Well, the record rep, there was no cell service up on top of the mountain. It was really hard to get cell service. So much later, the record rep gets like 10 angry voicemails from the PD of the Froggy station. And it's like, don't you fucking bring Joe Nichols over there. You're not bringing him to us. You better fucking like your relationship with that little station. Let's see what they do for his career. Let's see what they do, because you're not going to get shit from us. If you bring him over there, he is dead to us. Like, they lost their fucking mind because they heard me talking about it. And finally, the rep left a voicemail back. And I only know this because their PD made a recording of it, gave it to the GM. The GM sent it to the rep's boss. And then the rep's boss thought it was hilarious and sent it around, because the rep called him back and left him a voicemail saying, "Hey, Doc, would you mind telling me who the fuck you think you are, telling me what I can and can't do with my artist?"
I love it.
And the station after that point, Froggy after that point had a shit list. Joe Nichols was number 1 on the shit list. They would never play Joe Nichols music. And if any artist after that point came to our station first and went on the air with us, a new artist, anybody, they were not welcome in the building at Froggy. So we used to tell them, if you're coming to town, go to them first so that they put you on the air, then come over to us.
Yeah. Such an asshole.
They would get
what an asshole thing.
They would get so worked up about the shit we did, though.
It's such an asshole thing to do.
We were assholes too. That was the same station where when Tommy McFly was their intern, and he was doing a remote, we showed up with a whole bunch of listeners, all of us in our station gear, station t-shirts. We brought banners. We put Rolly banners out on all the tables.
I think awesome.
I think every station's had a somebody McFly.
Yeah.
Every station. I don't. So I'm as I'm listening to you, Jess, I'm thinking in my head, when did radio stop becoming fun? And in my head, I was saying somewhere between like 1998 and 2003.
Well, I was at that station from 2004 to 2008, but it was around that time. The reason it stopped becoming fun is because you stopped having air staff, street teams.
Radio stopped being fun in, when did you hire me, Jess?
Radio definitely stopped becoming fun in the early 2000s.
Mm.
Yeah, but goddamn, if we didn't all keep trying.
Yep.
Oh, well, I think the old guard tried to revive, and like old people do, or older people do. Back when I was
in my day, radio was fun,
right. And I think we
didn't get paid shit, but we ate for free at McDonald's.
We tried. I know I tried so hard to just reignite that sort of shit we had in the beginning, but it just wasn't there. The fire. Nobody had the fire. Anybody who owned stations didn't have the fire to do that. Not anybody. I'm sure there were locals who did, but I didn't work for anybody who had the fire to do any of that shit anymore. Mm-hmm. They just didn't have it. They were all sort of happy to, let's have our 6 or 8 fucking frequencies in the building, and we'll program, so we don't jeopardize our 1 or 2 billers, and we'll program so we can protect those.
But that's when it started getting, when radio started getting entirely bought out by corporations.
It became like baseball. It became like the Oakland A's, where they use numbers and math to decide who you should play instead of salary or instead of using ingenuity. Mm-hmm. They just used math now. Okay, math says we'll do this, and we'll program against this, and we'll stunt this. We don't need fucking people. Well, turns out, as we look at it, you did, because you fucked yourself.
Yeah.
They really have. And I don't know. It just, it's a sad thing. I would love to be, if I had like an endless cash kind of thing, I would love to have a station, a station with a signal, not a 3,000 watt, dumper at the end of Muck Road, but a 50,000 watt station at the end of Muck Road with a signal. I'd love to have a station like that.
Yeah.
And just fucking do old school radio. And I don't, not old school, like yuck radio. No, promotions and getting out there and having a full staff and doing a newscast and having a real morning show, and not fucking some guy sitting in at home in Indiana, and whoever his sidekick is in their home studio in Memphis or wherever they are, doing their fucking, their morning prep sheet jokes.
Or Bobby Bones.
That's a good face, Jess. Mm-hmm. I don't know who he is at all. I know of him. I don't know him at all.
Probably a good thing. I would be curious what you thought of him. I think you should at some point listen to him.
What, the Bobby Bones show?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was here, Bobby Bones. Oh yeah, here we go this morning. We're gonna have our little Nashville trivia coming up in about 6 minutes and 42 seconds, after you hear from Bobby Sarkis.
You're putting way too much inflection in your voice, because he tries to be all Bobby Bones, I'm slacker, like I don't really care that much that you're here, but like you're here, but like everybody hates me because I'm not country and I don't wear a cowboy hat.
Yeah, no, I have a hard time.
Wally, I need you before the next show to listen to like 10 minutes of Bobby Bones.
All right. I listen to, there's some girl here. There's a girl on doing the morning show for whatever I don't even know what the pop station here is anymore.
Hey, it's Fun 102, and I'm the chick.
Fucking horrible. But she's so bad that I can't decide whether she's local or if she's piped in.
Oh, wow. Meaning she doesn't say anything local.
Yeah, she says nothing local, but it's pretty tight. But I can't tell. Again, that being said, I've listened to cumulative in the last year about 10 minutes of it. Like when my granddaughter's in the car and she'll say, "Oh, can we listen to music?" And I'll turn over to that if it's the morning, and I'll find it'll find that because that's the pop station, and she'll listen to it and I just say, "I can't listen to it."
Wally.
She goes, "You know what I hate? She talks between every song."
Wally. It is 2025. Why are you listening to music on the radio?
Well, I don't. But she does. I don't know. She does.
When she wants to listen to music, put on Live One and find the pop station.
I don't do any of that. She wants to hear it because her friend listens to it because her friend doesn't have whatever her friend doesn't have, and she's trying to be her bestie. And I do that until I find what she wants to listen to, which is TV Girl. So then it's Amazon, play TV Girl. It's an artist that she likes a lot.
TV Girl.
I've never heard of that.
Does that mean trans?
No.
Are you sure that doesn't mean anything like?
By the way, I can't believe we haven't even. We're almost out of time, and we haven't even talked about transgender mice. I'm so sad.
Listen, there's a lot of money being saved by trying to keep those mice. Men are men. And women are women, as God created. There's nothing to see here. Everything is fine.
I know personally, in my personal life, I know nobody. I have no friends, nobody in my circle of anything that's transgender.
I know someone who is.
I know a couple. I've seen a couple of. I don't know them, but I've seen a couple of transgender folks who live in the general area when I'm out at the Walmart or I've seen a couple of people who are transgender. I don't see a variety. It's the same 2 or 3 people I see regularly who I've been able to identify as. There is one transgender person who works at, or he is in transition to she at Home Depot. And I call her by her name, Emma. It's funny because there's another guy who works there who is on the spectrum. He must have Asperger's or some form of whatever. He doesn't smile. He doesn't make eye contact. He's a great worker. He calls him by his boy name, and I call him by his girl name. And Emma doesn't care about it. But I really don't know I guess I'm saying, I don't know what the fucking big deal is. How many fucking transgenders are there in the fucking country?
It's like less than 1%.
100,000?
It's like less than 1% of the population. It's a fucking distraction.
Yeah. Look, if you do your own thing, you want to do your own thing, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. Listen, it's the same way I feel about the gays, because you have to preface it with gays. Because listen, you want to be gay, you want to fuck another guy, that's fine. Yeah. You want to fuck me? I have a problem if you want to fuck me. But if you want to fuck another guy, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't
have a problem with it.
Chris, I could say the same thing myself about most men. I have a problem if you want to fuck me.
Yeah, like, Jess, I got to tell you, most men have a problem with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we bowl on Thursday nights, and there's the other person on my team is named Luke. Jenna's on my team, and this Luke person. And Luke used to be Laura. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of funny, General Hospital.
Well, listen, but that's not even where it came from. And because I've asked Luke, and Luke said, "What do you mean General Hospital?" I said, Luke and Laura, early 80s.
How old is Luke?
And Luke looks at me and says, "Dude, I wasn't even born then."
Oh.
Okay. So Luke's probably, 25, 26, somewhere in that range. And in the bowling community, you don't want to misgender. Is that what it's called this week?
I don't know what the fuck it's called.
That's what it's always been called. Yeah.
But Luke, in the bowling community, there's certain things that you just say, whether you're male or female. And Luke gets up there, and Luke's kind of a new bowler to these big leagues, and gets up there and he throws a strike, and just without me even thinking, I'm like, "Atta girl!" And then he turns around and he's like, "It's cool. I get it. I'm like, I say it to everybody. I say it to your dad too.
I mean, I also say cool. Suck my dick. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
You do. Yeah. You do.
I don't see what they're just up in arms about nothing.
And listen, I think that this is going to come back and bite the Trumpers in the ass. I don't know if there's a pun there or not, but it's going to come back to them because there are so many people who have completed their transitions, men who have full beards, who were born as women, whose birth certificate says female.
They probably had full beards before transition. That
are now legally, apparently, required to use a women's public restroom. Now, what do you think most women are going to say if a man with a full beard walks into this? This is what we've been trying to avoid, right? This is what the whole uproar is about this bill, is that we don't want men in the restrooms with us. Well, now you're going to have men in the restrooms with you because they look like full men.
Yeah.
Because they are now full men.
So when I was in college might have been the first place I saw unisex bathrooms. And we only had a couple of them. There were men's rooms, there were girls' rooms, boys, girls, men, women, and there were some unisex bathrooms. I think now they call that the family bathroom.
Yes, it's been changed to the family bathroom.
If we just didn't have these fucking, 8,000 stall bathrooms, and let's just put some doors up. Just fucking put doors up. You get them there anyways.
It's not even that, like, the idea that at any point in history there have not been trans people in the bathroom with you, whether you knew it or not, is absurd.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, of course.
And who is ever going to enforce this? Like, what if you're just a particularly ugly woman and somebody assumes that you're a man?
Well, I got to tell you, I think you should probably prosecute for being an ugly woman too. So I think we need to take care of a lot of things here.
I'm just saying, if they start doing genital checks at the bathroom doors, I think everybody's going to be sorry.
Isn't one of Elon Musk's children transgender?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
One of his 15 kids. He has a
cadre of children.
A son that transgendered to woman, I think.
Something to that effect.
Huh.
Yeah, I think he definitely has a and that transgender child has disowned her father.
Of course.
And my favorites are when people start talking about that. You get into a setting with your friends and, guy transitions to be a girl and they're like, oh, what a fag. And a girl transitions to be a guy. And it's like, well, it's okay. It's all right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Good God.
It's okay.
But it's fine. Listen, I got to run, but I just want to tell you the line of the week here. As Jen and I were having a talk the other day, and we're trying to figure out some things in the house and whatever. And I said, listen, I got to know, from your past, am I the only one? And she said, well, yeah, you're definitely the only one. Most of the rest were 9s or 10s.
Hey, that was worth waiting for.
And with that, I bid you a good week.
All right.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
See you all later. Bye-bye.